Hi, welcome to Android. And we have seen in the last class about how to create a preference file and read and write to a preference file. We created an activity called my preference activity. So basically we have done this one. Today we are going to do this, this and this. So let us start with our concept called what is internal storage, external storage, and then we'll go to the SQLite database. So what is internal storage? By default, files saved to internal storage are private to your application and other application cannot access them, nor can the user directly. So what it means is that every time we will write an application uh, to internal storage, it is very much private to your own application and other application will not be able to access them. Whenever application is uninstalled, these files also get removed. So just be careful that uh, if you want something to be persistent across the various installations, then this may not be the right place. But if you want something to be private and to be uninstalled when the application is uninstalled, then this is a good place. So when application is uninstalled, these files also get uninstalled or removed. And to create and write a private file to the internal storage, the syntax is very simple. And you would notice that number of times it uses a basic Java API for file input output handling. And sometimes it has its own shortcut methods as well. But irrespective of that, if you want to write to a file, what you have to do is that let us assume I will give a some file name like this, and then I want to write hello world, this string. So there is a method called open file output, means I want to open the file for output. The file name, you have to just pass the file name to here, and then you have to tell him the context, whether you want to open it in a append mode, like something is already written there, you want to add after that, or you want to open it in a readable mode so that only you want to read it from it, or you want to open it in a way that anybody can write it to it. Okay, so world readable, world writable, that kind of a read mode, write mode, append mode. Those are some of the standard things you can open with the file. And then there is a very simple, just use the FOS file output stream dot write and pass this bytes and then do the file close. This will write to a file. So very simple way to write to a file. Now to read a file from internal storage, same thing. You have to call open file input instead of open file output and pass it the name of the file to read. This returns a file input stream like file output stream, and then you have to say read, and after that you have to say close. So those are the standard things what it does it. And if you want to know a little bit more about this file IO APIs, you can always go to the file IO API, the references in your Android, and you can check it there. It uses a Java API, Java IO. Okay, so these are the file input stream, file output stream, file output stream, file input stream. These are the classes which it is using. So that's pretty much I wanted to just explain you that it is using a basic Java API for all the file handling. There is not too much of a difference between the regular Java file handling and this one. Sometimes what happens, if we want to create a cache directory. Cache directory is a particular directory where you want to store some files, which are important to load in the memory for faster access, but you don't mind if sometimes this get deleted as well. So you can write a cache, create a file and put it in a cache directory so that it will be loaded very fast. And for that one, the only thing which you have to be careful is that you should use context.get cache directory to get that directory in which you will put that cache file. After that, rest of the things is pretty much same as the regular one. Okay. Now, what is external storage? It has the same concept that you write into the file, you read into the file, but here it is not the internal hard disk, internal or private only to the application. It is basically external SD card. So what happens is that everything you write in external storage means everything goes into the SD card. Files saved to the external storage are world readable and can be modified by the user when they enable USB mass storage to transfer files on a computer. So what happens that somebody can remove the SD card, somebody can put a new SD card, anybody can read the SD card data. So it is not very secure place to do it. But sometimes you don't care much about that. It is something like you want to just dump some music, or you want to put some video files, or you want to put some animation which are not very private kind of a from public domain already there. And those kind of a file, if you want to put it, it is perfectly fine. But just be careful. External files can disappear if the user mounts the external storage on a computer or removes the media, and there is no security enforced. So the most important thing is that there is no security enforced. Upon files, you say all applications can read and write files placed on the external storage. So what they say is that another thing, never store application specific, sensitive or private data on external storage. So if there is some kind of a license information or activation information, that how long this application is active, user has paid, what kind of user it is it a premium or something, all that kind of information, I would suggest that do not put it on external storage system. Okay. So that's pretty much is about external storage. Now, compared to internal and external, there is one difference which comes very quickly. And one of the difference which comes for it, difference between external and internal is this one, that in internal, and external, okay. Now in internal, there is no need to check if the device hard disk is present or not. But here you should check, you should first check if SD card exists or not. So that is the first big difference between internal storage and external storage when you write the application. If it is internal you are writing, no need to check if the device or hard disk is present or not. But when you are going to write to external storage, you must check if SD card is present or not, and whether you have a read or write permission or not. So those are the basic difference, one of the basic difference between writing an application for internal storage and external storage. Now, how do you check whether the SD card is present or not? There is a very simple, again, Android has provided a very simple API, and that API says that there is a class called environment, and in that you can call get external storage state, and that does the whole job. Basically it tells you that whether the uh, SD card exists or not, if it exists, whether it is read only, whether it is read or write, or is there any problem. All of that information it will pass. So first thing you should do is that call that method and find out the state. Once you find out the state, check it whether this state is equal to this or something else. If it is mounted, it means that it is there and you can write it. But if the state says it is mounted but read only, then you can only read it. And if it gives you something else, when there is some problem, so what you should do is that you should first try to fix that problem and give an alert to a user before you start writing to the SD card. So this is the very defensive and nice way to put this code before you write any file to an SD card. So that is the very basic 5 to 10 line which are there you should do before you write to an SD card. Okay. There is the same way you can create a cache directory in external storage, so there is not much.